Hey everybody, welcome back to the Wolf Pit and another episode of What Are We Eating? Once again, I'm reminiscing about my childhood and younger years in the 1970s when things were simply different, some good, some bad. But food-wise, things just seem to be so much better and more wholesome than they are today. That brings me to today's food, TV dinners. Some of you may ask, what is a TV dinner? In today's world, people see what I'm referring to as a TV dinner simply as a frozen dinner, which they are. I wonder if any of the younger people have ever heard a frozen dinner called a TV dinner, which is what we called them when I was young. There's different theories on how TV dinners got their name. One was due to the shape of the tray it was served on, because it resembled a 1950s TV. The other was because the package had a picture of a TV on it. But the one I believe is true is because you put the TV dinner on a TV tray and you ate it while you watched TV. That's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. But the TV dinners of old were not nearly as convenient as they are today. But they were a lot tastier and probably healthier. We couldn't just pop them in the microwave for a couple minutes like you can today. They came in aluminum trays that had to be heated in the oven, and they seemed to take forever to heat. But when it came to sit down with my father in front of the TV and watch Adam 12, Kojak, or Mutual of Omaha's Animal Kingdom and eat this neat meal, I was cool for a little while. So I picked up the Hungry Man's Smokin Backyard Barbecue TV dinner. It consists of a grilled glazed chicken patty and rib-shaped pork patty. Stop right there. Why in the is it so hard to give us a piece of meat without it being a patty of mystery carcass? They give you real pieces of chicken in the fried chicken dinners, so why can't they do it in this? Make the meal cost $1 or $2 more for crying out loud. When's the last time you went to a backyard barbecue and got a chicken or pork-shaped patty that's supposed to resemble a piece of meat? I'm really sorry about the rant, but this obviously bothers me. But it's the reason I do these videos, to show you exactly what we're eating. So anyway, our Smokin Backyard Barbecue is a grilled glazed chicken patty and rib-shaped pork patty and a smoky chipotle barbecue sauce with home-style mashed potatoes and sweet corn. And it includes a chocolate brownie. It is quite a hefty meal though, almost weighing in at a full pound. This is something we see on all frozen meals nowadays, cooked thoroughly to 160 degrees. I could be wrong, but I don't recall seeing that on meals years ago. And with this, it just seems really weird to me that it's all pre-cooked and with all the preservatives, fillers, and all that stuff. It almost seems like you could eat it from a frozen state and it would be safe. But I guess they have to do it to cover themselves. As for the ingredients, I have no idea where to even begin. Noah Webster himself would get lost in this sea of words. But my favorite ingredient cannot hide from me. The ever so yummy and spongy soy protein, also known as textured vegetable protein. I already knew my BFF was in here before reading the ingredients when I read on the front chicken and pork shaped patties. I knew I was in for this spongy treat and could not wait for this bountiful palate pleasing feast. Then there are sources of MSG everywhere in here, like maltodextrin, autolyzed yeast extract, isolated soy protein, Worcestershire sauce, hydrolyzed soy protein, and that's just to name a few. I know there's a lot of controversy on whether or not MSG bothers people or not. Even though it doesn't bother me, and I use it and like it, I do believe some people have reactions to it, which is why I'll continue to point it out. Last but not least, some flavors I personally cannot stand are in here. Smoke and grill flavor. That to me is like licking an ashtray. No, I've never licked an ashtray. Well, maybe I did at that class on herbs in Colorado, but we won't discuss that. Now on to the nutrition facts, and there's nothing really off the charts horrible here except for one thing. The calories are okay for a dinner portion at 710 calories. The fat and saturated fat are reasonable. Same with cholesterol. The sodium, as expected, is high at 1,440 milligrams, but to be honest, I thought it would be higher. The carbohydrates are okay unless you're low carb in it. There's a decent amount of fiber, which as we all know, keeps the train rolling, and the protein is great at 26 grams. But then on to the sugar, something I haven't talked a lot about before. The recommended daily sugar intake for a man is 37.5 grams, and for a woman, it's 25 grams. This has 53 grams of sugar. So, as Ron White would say about his in-laws, it's loaded with sugar. The good news is, as long as you have electricity, it's good food storage for the zombie apocalypse. That seems like a long time for something to stay good in your freezer. That kind of says something about what's in this. at least in my opinion. So I pulled the meal out of the box, and this is what we had. The instructions state to remove the plastic from over the brownie and then to cut a slit over each remaining ingredient, which I did, I just did not do on camera. Then it goes into the microwave on high for 3.5 minutes. Now after 3.5 minutes, I'm supposed to remove the brownie and set aside. Then I was supposed to rearrange the pork and the chicken, and as you can see, the sauce was already starting to burn. That's where all the sugar is and why it's burning. I'm not trying to be a stick in the mud, but the meat did not look appetizing whatsoever. Now give the mashed potatoes and corn a stir, cover everything back up, and place it back into the microwave for 2.5 more minutes or until everything is heated through. Now after microwaving on high for a total of 6 minutes and resting for another minute, our backyard barbecue dinner is ready. And just like with the Dollar Tree riblets, I get that overpowering fake smoke smell. Now don't forget to add the brownie back in, and once you do that, it's time to eat. So I started off by trying the mashed potatoes, and you guys already know how much I loathe frozen mashed potatoes. And these were no exception. No texture, no flavor. Why can't all frozen mashed potatoes be like Boston Markets? They were like Stacy's mom. They got it going on. I better stop. I'm starting to sound as bad as Dennis Miller. The corn was good, nice and buttery, but I've never had bad corn in a frozen meal. And now onto the main course, the grilled glazed chicken patty and rib-shaped pork patty in a smoky chipotle barbecue sauce. Now I'm going to be 110% honest with you guys. I already knew before I ate this that I was not going to like it. But I still planned and did give you an honest review. So here goes. The chicken was surprisingly tough and somewhat chewy. Very unusual for meat that's mixed with soy protein. The texture was like it was gristly. The chicken itself really had no flavor, but the sauce wasn't too bad. And I think they were counting on the sauce to add the flavor to the chicken, which it did. Because without the sauce, there'd be absolutely no flavor. And now onto the pork patty. And they actually take the time to mold it to make it look like it has bones in it. I'm not sure if I find that funny or weird. I mean, really, what's the point? So as soon as I cut into it, I could immediately tell it was much more tender than the chicken. And it definitely had more of a tender but spongy texture, more associated with texture of vegetable protein. But again, the pork had very little flavor, and if it wasn't for the sauce, it would really have no flavor at all. Neither piece of meat was good at all, but of the two, the pork was better. And I'm sorry the meat is moving all over the place. I bought a new camera to where the display is pointing in a different direction than the camera is. So it's a little confusing to me when I'm moving things around. But I'll get used to it and things will get better. At least I hope. That's the plan. And they even had these cute little grill marks on the bottom of the pork. Those are definitely Weber grill marks. And to show you the difference in the texture in the pork and the chicken you cannot cut with a fork, but the pork you can. Someone made a good comment the other day and asked me to start giving these foods a rating. So I don't know, let's do a 5-star rating. And out of 5 stars, this meal would get 1 star. And the reason it got the 1 star is because the corn was good, it was nice and buttery, it was still a little bit crisp, the brownie was pretty good, and the barbecue sauce was okay. Other than that, the rest of the meal was blah. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you do not waste your $2.50 on this meal. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.